Hi there. Welcome to my journey video series where I'm documenting the lessons and challenges associated with growing a YouTube channel and video blog from scratch. And today I want to talk about a lesson that I learned recently, and it has to do with testing things that you produce before putting them out into the world. Now, it seems obviously pretty self-explanatory, pretty straightforward, and even I was, aware of the idea that, when you're creating something, when you're building something, you need to test it to make sure it works. But there was one kind of element, I guess, that I hadn't really thought through completely, and that is to test it from the perspective of, put yourself in the frame of mind of your customer from wherever they're going to be coming from, and even all of the different ways they're going to be coming to your platform, your product, your service, whatever it may be, and to make sure that it satisfies their needs, it answers their questions, it does all those kinds of things from their perspective. So anyway, the reason it came up is because recently I have expanded my social media outreach. I had been posting things on Twitter and Facebook for a while, and recently decided that I wanted to add both Pinterest and Instagram to that as well. And I have, the social media management tools that I use have the ability to publish to those additional networks without really much additional effort. The content is still the same. The blog posts and articles and things are still the same content. It's just a matter of adding, or telling the software to publish it to one or more additional networks. So from that perspective, it was a kind of a no-brainer. What I didn't realize was that there are some differences between what those networks show the end user, the viewers, and what it allows you to publish content-wise. And so specifically, after I had been publishing on Instagram for a few days, I had a friend of mine reach out to me and said, "Hey, I like some of the things that you're putting on Instagram there, but the links that you're including, under the pictures, I can't click on them. I can't get to them. What's going on? Do you know why? Is there something you're doing wrong or whatever?" So I responded back to her and said, "Hey, I don't know. I'm new to Instagram. I'll have to check it out and see what I'm doing wrong, figure it out." Well, after a brief Google search, it was pretty easy to find out that Instagram actually does not allow you to put live hyperlinks in what they call the caption of the photo. So it's primarily intended to be a visual photo sharing service. It's not intended to be a article sharing, link sharing service. They do allow you to put the text of a link underneath the photo, so people, if they wanted to copy and paste it, they could do so and then go paste that into a browser to be able to view whatever you're sharing. But it makes it obviously much more difficult and much more barrier to entry of somebody doing so. Fortunately, I like I said, I share it on Twitter and Facebook and other places, and some people who follow me on Instagram may also follow me on another, so they have a way to get to it. But again, it's not very simple and straightforward. So if I had going back to the point I was making originally, is that if I had gone back before I decided to publish on Instagram, if I had done a little research and tested from my customer's perspective that, hey, I'm sharing content here, I'm sharing articles and links to things that I want people to check out, not just a picture, and viewed it from that perspective and gone through and tested the things that I'm posting, I would have found out, hey, you know what, I can't click this link. So the medium of Instagram as a way of sharing information with people is probably not the best approach, but the best tool to be using. And while maybe Instagram is still something that I want to use, it may not necessarily be the best for sharing links to content that I want to put out there. So I didn't go through that process of testing it from my viewer's perspective in that regard, and I should have done so, and it could have saved me both a little maybe confusion / slight embarrassment, but then also saved me or given me the opportunity to rethink the way that I want to use Instagram in my overall communication and branding strategy. So that it wasn't a huge deal, but it could have been if there were different circumstances, or I had a much larger following on Instagram, and you could very easily carry that same logic over to other things where you could have larger consequences that would have been more challenging to overcome. So I'm certainly going to carry that lesson forward and do that when I'm introducing new things or new content, new services, what have you, and make sure that I'm testing everything from my customer and user's perspective to make sure that it's meeting their needs. So I thought that was worth sharing today, so I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next video.